All right, guys, in this video, we're going to have some fun. We're going to layer some kick drums, and we're going to do a couple examples and show you one way to be very intentional with the different samples and what you allow them to contribute, be it subs, punch, mid-range, room sound, verb, clarity, top end, click, etc., to kind of build one cohesive sounding kick drum. This process can be applied to kicks, snares, or just throwing a bunch of stuff together and creating your own sounds, some sound design stuff. The second example we're going to look at would be where we're going to get a little more technical on layering multiple sounds where you want to retain low end from multiple elements, checking phase, the difference between that, and then also looking at how to make sure that you get the best phase relationship out of your samples. Before we do that, the thing I want to note is one kick drum or one snare drum, sometimes that's enough. A lot of times you get a kick drum sound, it's got a nice sub, a nice punch, it's got the right mids, good top, bam, you're done. All you need is that one sound. But that can be kind of boring, and it can be a lot of fun to layer kicks, especially when you can create your own custom sound. So be it to enhance the song or put your own kind of stamp on the production, the sound of that kick drum, layering it all of a sudden kind of becomes your own thing. Unless you're watching a video and copying the exact same settings, then you're just taking someone else's, as I smack the mic, you're just taking someone else's sound. But if you get in and just kind of mix up libraries and you pull things and you create your own sounds, that's, you know, what this is all about, is creating art and something that's unique to you, expressing yourself through it. So get all artsy about creating the perfect kick drum. But I did want to say sometimes that one sample's enough, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to layer multiple sounds. I don't want you to just start clicking and dragging kicks or snares for no reason. Let's have intent. Let's do this with a purpose. For this example, I've got a starting kick drum, and then we're going to layer multiple sounds, but we're going to filter out and focus in on frequency-wise whatever those sounds are contributing to the original. We're not just going to layer for layering's sake. And we'll look at that in a second. But you know what? No, it's time to look at that. So here we go. As I talk, I think there's more to say. But let's look at this first kick drum sound. I'm going to solo it. Actually, I don't even need to solo it because I have my control surface here, and the faders are all down. So here is a loop of this first kick drum. I just pulled it in from the Dat Sound library. This is called Tight Kick 2. And we have a nice tight kick. Okay, to me, I would love to have some more bottom end in this kick. I think that a little room sound or something, so it's not so clean and direct sounding, would be cool. And then maybe a unique top end or some click in the kick would be really cool. Now, I have these samples, but if I just put all these at 0 and I hit play, let me turn this down a little bit, make sure it's not going to blow your speakers. These are all, you know, here's what we started with. And then I've chosen them for certain things, but if I just hit play, it could be cool. You may like that, but I think we can make it sound a lot better. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this with purpose. So the first sample that I want to talk about is the sub. Let me solo that. Okay, not so sure about the top end. It's a little bit extended. The note, the sustain is a little bit much for me, so I want to control that. But blending the two together, let's go back to what we started with. Okay, and then blending in this for sub frequencies. Could be cool. Top end's not bad, but I'm going to go ahead and get creative with this. I'm going to take out the top end. I only want to hear the sub. So let me just listen to this sample. Come in here and just take out. Let me even go a little bit more. There we go. Somewhere around there sounds pretty cool. Now let's play these two together, and I'm going to blend in the subs. Okay, we're filling the subs, but to me, I think it needs a little bit more work. I want this to be really tight. So we have some tools at our disposal. Right here, we're just going to use nice, tight fades. I'm going to break up this clip, put a little fade, and let's see where that gets us. Okay, it's quite a bit tighter. I'm going to go even further with the fade. And then I'm going to copy. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. I'm going to copy the edited kick drum. Nice tight sub-frequency kick drum. And let's hear those together. Okay. One more time before without this guy. And now with our extra sub-frequencies. Okay, still a little bit loose. We'll look at phase in a minute. There's a couple things we can do to tighten that up, but I feel like we're getting somewhere. Still a little bit tight, a little bit dry. I think we could do with some room sound. I was searching through my libraries. I found this one, and I really like the room in it. Let me pull open the this one in solo. Okay, it's extended. It's got a lot of subs. We don't need that. We already have our subs. We already committed to that second kick drum contributing to the sub frequency. So let's pull open an EQ and let's get rid of the subs. We're going to do the opposite. Instead of taking out top end, we're going to take out bottom. So I'm just going to come out here. Kind of lost some of my room sound, so let's pull it back a little bit. Okay, somewhere in there, I still don't know if I want any of that 100 hertz. That's kind of the punch frequency range. I'm going to pull that back. Okay. And then I'm not sure that I really need the top, so let's take out the click in it. A little bit, and then maybe something in here. Okay, before this sample, before the EQ, and then after. A little bit of extension. Now let's see what we get when we blend that in with the original two kick drums. Okay, I think it sounds pretty cool. It's not in context to a song or anything at this point, but the only other thing I would say is maybe some fades here to kind of tighten it up a little bit more. There's always some things we can do after the fact that will help us a little bit too. But let's hear that again. And then without it. Okay. I might be a little bit choked. The OCD in me is kicking in. Okay, now let's go to this final kick. And I really like the when I was listening to it, and this is trial and error too, just for demonstration's sake. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes, again, you're like, oh, I didn't need that last kick. Totally cool. This one I pulled in for the click. So let's get that guy up in the mix. Let me solo it so we can hear it by itself. And it's just this last kick. I've got the punch I want. I've got the beef I want. I've got the sub frequencies that I want. Let me go ahead and take out the subs. Similar EQ, first move to that guy. Let's hear that. I think somewhere around there is going to be cool. So we're going to start with that. And let's blend some of that in, some click. So here's out. And then we're going to blend it in. Without it. Very cool. These samples could still be a little bit tighter with the phase relationship. We're going to look at that in another example. But here is a very basic way to then have these kick drums locked in together. You could bounce these down as one. I tend to be the mixing engineer, producer that leaves them on their own tracks, because then I can automate between different sections. Or I could pull out, like you're going to see what I did in the track once we get to it. These are different kick drums for example's sake. But then let's say maybe at the first hit, I don't want the click, but the second and fourth I do, then we could come in and manipulate it like this. There you go. So different things you can do once you layer them, but the biggest thing I wanted you guys to take away from this was filtering to allow the different kick drums to be focused in the area that they're complementing the original. So blending kick drums. The next video, the next example we're going to look at is going to be taking these same kicks and then diving deeper into the phase relationship. I'm going to kind of explain the samples and nudging and trying to get the best out of our kick samples so that we can retain the low end from multiple kick drums and come out with a good sound there as well. So next video, we're going to take a look at that, and I'll see you there.